Hi all, welcome to my video on how to structure the introduction to your argument analysis responses. This is part of the English curriculum, but specifically Unit 3, Area of Study 2, or Analysing Argument. Now I had the most wonderful English teacher in Year 12, shout out to Mr. Beck, and he had a terrific analogy that he liked to use to describe the importance of introductions, or more specifically, what's actually running through the minds of your teachers as they read your introductions. He explained that when your teacher or your marker picks up your essay, they have this imaginary barometer in their minds. And as they're working through the introduction, they're deciding or gauging whether your essay will likely sit down this end at the poor end, or in the middle as average, or right at the top as good or great. And if they cast you into the poor category, then you have to spend the rest of your essay fighting to convince them that you should actually be up here. Conversely, if your introduction is great, then all you have to do is maintain your position down this end of the spectrum. So even though introductions are usually very short, and that's fine, they can be, we've got to make sure that we nail them. But how do we do this? How do we make our introductions as compelling as possible? Well, by the end of this video, you will know what to include in your introductions, and you will know how to structure them. There are 5 main core ingredients that make up a terrific argument analysis introduction. All you've got to do is remember what they are, practice finding them in various texts, and then also practice writing this up in the form of a paragraph. Don't worry, we'll step through each stage of that process throughout this video. So, what are these magical ingredients? Well, you need to state and describe the issue. You'll need to include the author's contention, so the view or argument that is put forward by the author about the issue. You will also need to use a couple of words to describe the tone, and you will need to determine who the text is aimed at, or the audience. Finally, the context. This is a bit of an umbrella term, but basically it means that you should state the date, the author, the title, the form of the article, so is it an email or is it a newsletter, as well as the name of the publication. So is it in the Age or the Herald Sun, for example? And the author's relationship to the issue. Have they got any vested interests in the outcome of the issue? Only talk about this if there's evidence of it in the text. So the best way to wrap our minds around these core ingredients is to see if we can find them in a persuasive text. Now, here's one that I have written. It's entitled "An NBA Player Could Jump Over You," and we've got a photo of Nate Robinson jumping over Dwight Howard. It starts, "To my fellow content producers, today I was left astonished. I cannot get over how many of you believe that NBA players are overrated and that tennis players are the best athletes in the world. I have followed the NBA for my whole life, and I do not understand how one cannot appreciate the athletic splendor of NBA players. They are as tall as the Eureka Tower and can jump as high as kangaroos. Just look up LeBron James. At 206 centimeters tall and weighing in at 113 kilograms, he can jump 101 centimeters in the air without a runner. He can also dribble, pass, and shoot at an unbelievable level. An outlier, you say? Well, treat yourselves to the highlight packages of Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Zion Williamson, just to name a few. Please feel free to return serve, but my best guess is that LeBron James could jump over Roger Federer whilst holding Rafael Nadal above his head. Kind regards, James." Okay, now pause the video and see if you can identify each of these main elements: the issue, the contention, the tone, the audience, and the context. See how you go. Fantastic. What did you come up with? Let's have a look at the answers. So the issue, well, it's a debate about which sport has the best athletes. The contention, that NBA athletes are the best in the world. The tone, I tried to be authoritative and passionate, and I think the language conveys this. The audience, well, my fellow contributors at educational vids for quarantined kids. And finally, the context. I wrote it. I'm a contributor at Educational Vids for Quarantine Kids. It's entitled NBA Player Could Jump Over You. And it's in the form of an email. And do I have vested interests? Yes, I love NBA, although sadly I'm still so bad at basketball. Anyway, basically all we've got to do now is turn this into a paragraph. I accidentally just gave you a glimpse of one, but if you can, pause the video and see if you can turn that into a paragraph. Awesome. Now, this is one that I've put together before, and I guarantee you that you will not find anything in this paragraph that is not included in my list of core ingredients. To prove my point, let's highlight the various aspects of the text. So the issue in blue, there we go, the contention in purple, the tone in red, the audience in green, and the context in yellow. See, virtually all of it is highlighted. Only the connective words and phrases are not coloured in. This serves to demonstrate to you that if you learn the ingredients and practice identifying them in your text, you will have all you need to craft a really cohesive and compelling paragraph that sets very positive expectations for your markers about the quality of the rest of your essay. Gets you down the good end of that barometer. So my final tip to you is to turn IC-TAC into a mnemonic. I always used injured cyborgs, tickle aggrieved cops. It worked for me. If it doesn't work for you, try to come up with your own. Anyway, best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video.